It's been about like 2 or 3 months since I talked about Ipetgoat2, and gladly so because I've talked about everything you could possibly imagine regarding that cartoon. And I'll just leave it at that. And I haven't focused on it at all for this entire time, and it's a good thing. The thing is cursed, and it's evil, and there's no need to focus on it obsessively. But I just wanted to point out one possibility. And when I say possibility, I literally mean that um, nobody knows what the future holds and what exactly we're facing here. Um, there's so many variables at stake and possibilities, from, global financial reset coming next year or soon to, a lot of near-death experiencers claiming that we have 40 more years before the world as we know it ends. And then the April 2024 eclipse and all sorts of possibilities. But I can't get over one thing about Ipetgoat2, this obsession with the ice. The obsession with the ice that's all over the cartoon. Everything is frozen in place, okay? It's almost as if time stands still and is frozen. Now, those of you who have been watching me a long time know exactly what this is and what I'm talking about. If you don't know what Ipetgoat2 is, just a quick recap. Bush was reading My Pet Goat during the first 9/11 event, and this cartoon is called Ipetgoat2, so I'll let you figure out what that could possibly be about. But the frozen earth syndrome is something that I believe is literal. Okay. A lot of people have symbolic interpretations of what they're seeing. I think that this is literally a frozen earth. I've talked about this before, and I'm not saying I'm connected necessarily, but I just thought it was odd that my favorite band in high school, when I say my favorite band, I had learned their most complex song on guitar 17 or 18 minutes long, called Dante's Inferno. This is a very dark band called Iced Earth. I was obsessed with them in high school. If you're not in heavy metal circles, you would not know who they are, of course. They were relatively well known within heavy metal. But their first album, as you can see, already has, I don't know if that's a fallen angel or Icarus falling, but as you can see, a lot of their symbolism is really quite dark and sinister and, really creepy stuff. And their music has that sort of similar overtone to it. Um, but I don't know, last couple of days I've been thinking about Iced Earth and how they have so many songs about pharaohs, and about Egypt and about the Bible and Moses and all these weird themes, right? That are actually reminiscent of themes we see in iPad Go 2. Right? Before I go on and read you some lyrics from this band, um, we do have a blood moon eclipse coming up November 8th, and it's on the same day as the midterm elections. Um, I, at the very minimum, believe that there's going to be chaos within the Democratic Party because there already is. There's already a mutiny and infighting taking place. And whatever outcome it is, I believe the Democrats will lose badly. It's going to create political chaos and might even reach a point where it might even bring down the US government. I'm not even kidding. I think that's how important this upcoming election is. And I'm not saying anything will happen that day. I'm just saying that it's peculiar that there's a blood moon eclipse on election day on November 8th. It's interesting at the very minimum to point out. And the gas, oil stopping, everything. It is happening. You know what I mean, guys? Everything is sort of grinding to a halt and freezing in place right now as we speak. That is the sort of ambiance that this cartoon gives me. If you watch the entire thing, it feels like everything is just standing still, until the last moment when everything is completely frozen, right? And then after that, after it's frozen, it's ignited. So I shared the video on my community post about the metamorphosis of the new Earth and how it could happen in a way where, well, first of all, the elites are already talking about blocking the sun. If they create a nuclear winter, they will block the sun. And if they create a nuclear winter in the winter, they will make temperatures even colder and block the sun even more. Now, will that be reignited by the coronal mass ejection and all of that melted? All of that the frozen world melts and sort of new life reignites. And remember I talked about the volcanoes creating the lava cooling and creating this sort of healing effect that brings upon like a new soil, right? What if this is an integral element to the process? What if this is some sort of elemental magic of sorts where they freeze and then they rapidly unfreeze, and that's sort of I don't want to say chemistry, let's call it alchemy. It's an alchemical process in which there's something new that comes out of what was frozen. So that's just an interesting thought. I just wanted to point that out, that I think the frozen world is literal. It's quite literal, and you have can't find them right now. Hold on. The B-2 bombers, yeah. It's also interesting to note that B-2 bombers were sent to Europe the other day. For the first time ever, by the way. These look very much like B-2 bombers, if you could see that clearly. These are definitely B-2 bombers, in my opinion. Now, in case you forgot what they look like. But, I mean, it's a very distinct shape. I mean, just look at that. It looks just like those bombers. Very expensive, unique plane. Okay, let's get to the lyrics. This is just one example of their strange lyrics. Time is the bond of mortal life. Isis with the scroll of life raised her love Osiris from the dead. Live can transcend the mortal coil. With the script, the high priest of the pharaoh commits a sacrilege. Death is but a threshold to another life. You will arrive with this power. You shall live again. There is no end. You will live again. Love was the curse upon my soul. For it I would risk salvation and utilize the scroll to save this one. Time is the sentence for my sin. 3,000 years my angry soul has been trapped inside the tomb of my condemn. Death is but a threshold to another life. I will arrive with this power. I shall live again. There is no end. I will live again. Dawn shines. light on pain untold, scarred from the millennia. The heart that beats inside my chest is cold, rising from these sands of time. By the scarab's power, I'm given strength with hate in hand. The misery I drink. Oh my gosh. I mean, those are some powerful lyrics, no matter how you look at it. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, John Schaefer, right here, is the guitarist of Iced Earth. This guy here, he was arrested for being one of the Capitol riot insiders. Okay, I guess he's the first Capitol defendant to take a plea deal. Okay. Oathkeeper and heavy metal John, guitarist, entered a plea of guilty on 2 charges Friday, becoming the first person charged in the Capitol riot. Okay. So not only do we have Iced Earth and the Frozen Earth of Ipetgoat2, we have their cryptic lyrics. We have John Schaefer involved in an insurrection January 6th, 2023. Remember, the insurrection was January 6th, 2021. There is a full moon, wolf moon, that day as well. So, again, keep in mind, I'm not saying that these things are all necessarily connected. Don't give me a hard time here. I'm just saying it feels like there's a connection for me personally, is all I'm saying. If you knew how obsessed I was with this band in high school, and looking at this band deeper, I feel, to me, there is a personal connection with this band and the animation Ipetgoat2. And that's what I wanted to share today.